Fest 2021. I'm your host, Jason, and in this panel we're going to be discussing and reviewing the JUMBORG ACE series as a whole. I won't be going much into detail with the show, as there's others out there that have gone over this subject in great detail. So I'll be giving my thoughts and general take on the show itself. So with that said, when it comes to JUMBORG ACE, it was a show obviously produced by Super Ride Productions for the reasons that the company was celebrating its 10th anniversary this time in the year 1973. And along with that, this was around the time that they were airing both Ultraman Taro and as well as Fireman, which is also known as Magma Man, which I haven't really seen that series a whole lot. Maybe one of these times down the road we probably will get into that. But with that, as far as JUMBORG ACE, it has a total of 50 episodes, and it ran throughout the entire year of 1973, from middle of January and towards the end of December, a few days before the end of the year. And it was originally aired on Mainichi Broadcasting System. I'm not sure if the station is still around, which from the looks of it, it is still around. And with that, just kind of get a little bit of a plot summary, kind of a quick, brief one. Not going to go much into detail on this one here. As far as the show goes, it's kind of involved around a air delivery boy by the name of Naoki Tachibana, probably in his 20s, obviously. He's living with his brother's family. Shinya, that's the name of his brother in this one, along with his nephew and as well as his sister-in-law. Sorry about that. And he works for a airplane delivery company, and with his boss, Daisuke Bano, who's being played as veteran actor Jun Tasaki, which a lot of you probably are familiar with. And Naoki Tachibana's brother, he works for another of these agencies, kind of familiar throughout the entire Ultra franchise here, and it's called Protective Attacking Team, or short for PAT or PAT. So Protective Attacking Team, it's a little bit of an oxymoron. And there was a day that Naoki Tachibana's brother's defense force team were called upon that there's a monster attacking an electric plant or a dam somewhere in Japan, and they go out, try to defeat this monster, but unfortunately Naoki's brother gets killed during the whole situation there. And Naoki was trying to ram the airplane Cessna that he was flying into the monster, but then as soon as he was kind of transported it into another dimension. Sort of the same plot synopsis story that we've seen in the original Ultraman here, and he's confronted by the Emerald alien, which looks similar to another, the whole Ultraman race here. And he uses his brother's wristwatch as a device that you can call upon JUMBORG ACE, which transforms from this airplane Cessna that Naoki, rides in. And then from there, he pretty much faces monsters, as well as the boss, Antigone. And the one thing that I want to talk about with this series is that not only that we get to see one main boss in the show, which tend to see through many of the other tokusatsu related TV shows here. Not only we get to see one main boss, not two main bosses, but 5 main bosses in this entire show within 50 episodes. I'm not kidding. I mean, you got Antigone, Madagone, Satangone, or you can say Satangone, and then the grandma mother of the Gones is Barbarossa, or Barbarossa, and then you got Demon Gone. I'm not kidding. You get 5 different main bosses in this TV show. And then, of course, later on in the series, Naoki acquires a vehicle, which is a Honda Z, and that transforms into JUMBORG 9. So he's got 2 different kinds of JUMBORGs in this show. So when it comes to these 2, for JUMBORG Ace, he has the ability to fly, and then when it comes to JUMBORG 9, he doesn't. So that's kind of the only difference besides the obvious appearances when it comes to these JUMBORG robots. So that's kind of the quick plot summary, kind of get things set up for the entire show here. So when it comes to JUMBORG Ace, I was watching this on a kind of a bootleg version of it. The one thing I want to say about this is that I hope that there's a better version of the show somewhere out there. It's like when you try to watch this show with subtitles really aren't that good at all with this one, because there are some instances for this show with the subtitles on this version of the DVD is that when someone is hurt or trying to awaken someone, but obviously that they've passed on, is that they'll say on the subtitles like, hey, screw up, instead of saying, hey, get up. That's one of the examples that I just want to bring up when it comes to the subtitles. They aren't really all that great. But as far as the presentation on it, it's pretty good for what it is, and some of the presentation for this, and we combine it or compare it to maybe like DVDs or Blu-ray versions of the Ultraman TV shows. It's a little bit of a low quality, but it's still pretty good. A lot better than Alpha Video for that matter. But when it comes to this show, I would say that maybe close to a half of the entire show with Naoki Tachibana, it feels like, excuse me, that he has some kind of attitude towards him, and it feels like that he doesn't really learn his lesson a whole lot, and that kind of got to the point where that I didn't really want to watch this show a whole lot just the way how he acted towards some of the people that he was talking with, even towards his sister-in-law as well as his nephew as well from time to time, and as well as his brother, and along with the Emerald Alien as well. He just kind of backtalks a few of these people, and it's just he just really doesn't learn his lesson, even after when you think that he would. In the next episode, he just feels like he doesn't, learn his lesson at least one bit. And yeah, it just felt like after a while, just didn't feel like you really attached yourself to Naoki a whole lot, and it just kind of got to the point to where I just felt disappointed to where I just really didn't watch the show a whole lot. Just just kind of had it sort of in the background while I was doing some stuff, and from time to time I would look up and then watch what's going on. But then I would say maybe close to the halfway point and then onwards, it felt like all of a sudden he just sort of knew what he was doing. He felt more confident and to know what he was doing, as well as being there for not only for PAT but for his sister-in-law as well as his nephew. And it just felt like a complete 180, and it was like, what the hell happened? It just really didn't feel like he didn't learn his lessons in the earlier episodes at all. And yeah, it's really, really confusing. I would have to sort of blame it on the whole writing aspect of it. Whoever wrote this, it would have been nice if they would have listed whoever did the stories. I'm guessing is individual people, like maybe a handful of people per episode. But yeah, whoever came up with the whole story, so on and so forth, it just felt like that they just needed time, or could have. I mean, they had plenty of time. 50 episodes. They had plenty of time to, kind of flesh out the character more, and or just kind of get to the point where he learned his lesson maybe within a few episodes and then onwards. But they just sort of lingered that on for quite a bit, which it's a bit of a mystery as to why that they did, kind of made Naoki this kind of person that didn't really, care much about anything, and didn't have all this confidence, and just, didn't really, act well towards others. But then all of a sudden, just made a complete 180. I don't know why. But with that, the show in itself, it's quite crazy as hell, too. I mean, there's quite a bit of entertainment along with the main bosses there, all the gones there, and the monsters themselves, they are pretty good in a way as far as the design. I mean, you kind of get some of the familiar wars in there. There are some that'll have Rodan, maybe Mothra, but sometimes they'll kind of tweak them here and there. But and then the visual effects in here are pretty good. Could have done a little bit better, but I think overall, I think the story for JUMBORG ACE kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, just the way how I was talking about this just a few minutes ago. It's just the main character just felt like he just tried to connect with him, but he just goes about some of the stuff in a negative way for close to about half of the entire series, and it just sort of turns you off, and almost to where I just didn't want to finish all of the entire show in itself. But I think once it kind of got to that point, and now you kind of went to a complete 180 and all the way through the rest of the series, you kind of got sort of invested into the show, but it kind of gotten a little bit late just how that they presented the main character and such. But when it comes to the Gones, they're pretty good main bosses. It would have been nice if they would have done maybe just stuck with one or at least two of them. But when it comes to 5, it just felt like that they just really didn't know what to really do with the whole story and how to go about it in a way. It just felt just kind of rushing a lot of the things too. They should have just stuck with one main boss as far when it comes to maybe just Antigone. And also, spoiler, if you don't want to be spoiled and if you haven't watched this show yet, I would suggest not watching this panel now until you've watched Jumborg Ace. So with that, when it comes to the end of Jumborg Ace, Naoki's secret, when it comes to the Ultra series, you get the main character's secret identity, exposed to many, most of the Defense Force teams, and it's like, oh, you're Ultraman or Ultra Taro or 80 or whatever. But when it comes to this, he never had his Naoki never had his identity revealed, that he was both Jumborg Ace and Jumborg 9 this entire time. And then after Demon Gone was defeated on the moon, pretty much the entire show was basically ends in a cliffhanger. Yeah. Where that, is there going to be a sequel to Jumborg Ace? Which, unfortunately, that never came to fruition, but Jumborg Ace does eventually get integrated into the M78 canon, or the Ultra franchise canon, in the form of GeneBot. But unfortunately, Jumborg Ace never really got a sequel after this show came to a conclusion. So that's kind of a little bit weird when it comes to this TV show, because most of the tokusatsu shows that I've seen so far, they'll tend to basically close everything up and then have the main character's identity revealed to the Defense Force that they're working for or have relations with. But yeah, with this one, I think so far this is the first one that I've seen that it just ends on the cliffhanger, and the main character's secret identity wasn't revealed to his the people that he has relations with. It's just sort of weird and odd for this kind of tokusatsu show. You would think that when it comes to this, it would be a kind of a one and done sort of show, for Super Riot Productions celebrating their 10th anniversary during this time. But that they thought that they had some kind of potential thing going on for Jumborg Ace, but for whatever reasons, those plans sort of fell through with that. But fortunately enough, JUMBORG Ace sort of lives on as in the form of GeneBot and the Ultra franchise. And also one of the things I would kind of want to mention here, that both JUMBORG Ace and Mirror Man, which I haven't seen yet but would like to sometime down the road, they basically share the same universe in this time span, because not only in one of the episodes that they had was Naoki's nephew Kazuya, he owned a Mirror Man piggy bank in this, and as well as some of the team members of Pat, they also appeared in Mirror Man as well. So, and I'm not sure if they were under the same name, Protective Attacking Team, and Mirror Man, but apparently both Mirror Man and JUMBORG Ace are in the same universe as one another. So, yeah, JUMBORG Ace. Overall, it's really crazy, all in good fun, entertainment. However, the story overall, it just felt like you tried to get yourself attached to Naoki Tachibana, but close to the first half of the show, he just felt really negative towards others and just sort of, really doesn't learn his lessons a whole lot. And then all of a sudden, one of the episodes makes a complete 180, like nothing ever happened. That's just a really weird way in how to go about the main character development. And, if you're trying to get into JUMBORG Ace for the first time and going through the, first handful number of episodes and just trying to get yourself attached to Naoki here, it just felt like that it was almost impossible to get, to be related to Naoki within the first handful of episodes, and it would just almost make you just want to turn off the TV and just not really watch the rest of JUMBORG Ace. And that's sort of a bit disappointing if that would be the case if you're trying to go into this show, because that almost happened to me at one point here. And because I bought this about about it'd be 2 years ago, because I got this at G-Fest in 2019, so it'll be basically 2 years this week. So and I think it took me about another year-ish or a year and a half to finally get around to watching this. And I can kind of see why I sort of hesitated to watching this show, because the way how Naoki was portrayed in this TV show. And I would have wished that whoever came up with the whole story and development of the characters, that it would have been nice that they would have, had him come to his senses and learn his lesson within the first few episodes, and then just kind of went on from there. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing, because the show has some potential within it, with good fun and entertainment, some other relatable characters and some goofy moments, obviously. A lot of good monsters and action as well. in here, even though it's geared more towards kids, obviously. Corny as well. But if you're trying to look at it, in a more of a story point, it's a bit disappointing in how Naoki is portrayed. And I know I'm just kind of going on about the whole story aspect, and I think that's kind of the biggest negative on JUMBORG ACE is the way how Naoki is portrayed. But with that, I kind of basically sort of given my own thoughts and reviews on JUMBORG ACE here. So with a rating out of JUMBORG ACE, out of 10 stars, I probably would give this one a 5.5, just barely above average. And it's mainly due to the story part and the Naoki character in this. Because, I mean, the people that were in this show are really good, along with Jun Dozaki, obviously. But just with what they had, they obviously had to go with what they had as far as the script goes. And don't get me wrong, the actor who portrays Naoki in this, he's really good for what he does and how he, does a lot of things with what he's got. But just with the portrayal of the character, it just would have been nice that he would have resolved his issues and everything within the first few episodes, but it just sort of kept on going close to the first half of the JUMBORG ACE TV show. So, a 5.5 out of 10 stars. So just barely above average. So just kind of want to forewarn you out there, just be prepared as far as the portrayal of Naoki goes in this, and hopefully that there's a better version of the JUMBORG ACE TV show out there. So I wouldn't suggest getting a kind of a offshoot copy with a very poorly written English subtitles with that. So JUMBORG ACE, really good, fun entertainment, visual effects, kaiju, giant robot fights, and they're good characters besides Naoki's character. Really good actors and actresses in here. It's really fun and entertaining when it gets to the halfway point and then on. So, other than that, that's all I've got for you here. I know it's going to be, basically short discussion / review of JUMBORG ACE. I mean, like I said, I'm not really going to go into detail on the show because there's other people out there that probably has done more research and has gone into great detail on this TV show. So, with that, thank you for joining this panel on JUMBORG ACE. And this is Jason signing off. And we will see you in the next panel of Daikaiju Fest.